Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's get straight into today's story. Tony Blair is back in the headlines again, giving advice, shaping policy and hovering around the Labour leadership like he never really left. And every time Blair reappears, the same question comes up. How did a so-called Labour Prime Minister, elected as man of the people, end up personally worth tens of millions of pounds? Because this isn't about envy, it's about credibility. When someone who once led a centre-left party lectures the country on morality, responsibility and public service, people are entitled to ask how that person made their money. When Blair left in office in 2007, he didn't retire quietly. Instead, he built what he can only be described as a global influence operation. The Tony Blair Institute for Global Change was set up as a non-profit, but Blair himself moved into a world of consultancy, advisory roles and international lobbying that most ordinary voters will never experience. Blair reportedly earns millions from advising governments, corporations and international organisations. This includes oil-rich states, foreign leaders and large global institutions. Supporters say this is just expertise being rewarded. Critics say it's exactly what people mean when they talk about the political elite cashing in after public office. One of the most controversial aspects of Blair's wealth is how closely he is tied to foreign governments. He advised regimes with poor human rights records, often behind closed doors. That doesn't make him illegal, but it does raise serious questions about judgment. When the same man who pushed Britain into the Iraq War later profits from relationships in the Middle East, people understandably feel uncomfortable. Then there's property. Blair owns multiple high-value properties in London and elsewhere. He famously structured one property purchase for a company, avoiding stamp duty in a way that is legal, but again, politically awkward. This is the same Labour movement that lectures working people about paying their fair share. Now, Blair's defenders are quick to say he followed the rules. That may be true, but politics isn't just about rules, it's about trust. And trust erodes when politicians appear to play one game for themselves and another for everyone else. The bigger issue is what Blair represents. He is the blueprint for the modern political class. Get elected on ideals, leave office, then monetise contracts, reputation and influence. It's not unique to Blair, but he perfected it. And now, worryingly for many voters, he seems closer than ever to the current leadership. Now, Keir Starmer insists Blair has no formal role, but Blair's ideas, people and networks are clearly back in fashion. That's why this wealth question matters, because Blair's success isn't just personal, it's ideological. It signals a return to globalism, consultancy politics and elite decision making far removed from ordinary voters. For people struggling with bills, housing and job security, Blair's fortune feels like proof that politics no longer serves as public. It serves those who pass through it. When trust is already low, seeing former leaders become extremely wealthy only deepens cynicism. And let's be honest, if a Conservative former PM had made similar money in similar ways, the media reaction would have been relentless. Blair gets treated differently because he's still seen as part of the acceptable establishment. That's why so many people across the political spectrum now react negatively when Blair reappears. It's not just Iraq, it's not just history, it's the sense that the same people who made disastrous decisions never face consequences, they actually get rewarded. Blair's wealth is legal, but legality is the same as legitimacy in the eyes of the public. And until politicians understand that difference, distrust will continue to grow. So when you hear Tony Blair offering advice on how Britain should be run, remember this: he no longer lives with the consequences of the policies he promotes. He lives in a different world now, one funded by influence, access and connections built while in public office. That's why people are angry, and that's why this conversation isn't going away. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want more honest political commentary and don't want to miss what's really happening behind the headlines, hit subscribe now and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think.